Welcome back to a Thriving Loudly podcast. I'm your host, Aisha.
And I'm your host, Trinice. Today's episode is for every woman who feels exhausted trying to do wellness right. We've all been there, right? Because we're talking about hormones, burnout, gut health, emotional wellness, social media wellness, culture, and the pressure women feel to constantly optimize themselves.
Oh, yes. Such good points. And today we're joined by Monet, health coach, yoga teacher, and founder of Black Orchid Wellness. Black Orchid is breaking the mold of the modern wellness space, moving away from perfection, pressure, and one-size-fits-all formulas. It was created as a space where women can step outside the constant stress of trying to get wellness right and instead reconnect with their bodies in a way that feels real, supportive, and sustainable. Yes. Welcome to Thriving Loudly.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Let's
Thank
go.
you guys.
Before we get into all the wellness things and wellness culture, tell us a little bit about your story. How did Black Orchid get started?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I thought I was a very healthy person. I was an athlete, so I was dancing, I was a figure skater, and I was vegetarian at the time.
Yeah.
So I just always thought I was super healthy, but I wasn't really considering like my food choices or anything like that, because you're in your teens, you're in your 20s, you don't really care. And then all of a sudden, and like a flip of the switch, I started noticing I was getting really bad bloating, and like anything I eat would just like hurt my stomach. And I started getting really bad yeast infections as well. I was having those like every single month, and I was like, okay, something's off. Like my body doesn't feel right. My body doesn't feel good. So I talked to my doctors and got tested for some gut issue stuff, and it came back that I had candida, which is a yeast overgrowth, and SIBO, which is a bacterial overgrowth. So I had both of those happening in my gut at the same time, and it started me to really think cleanly about my diet, because I went a more natural way with my doctor. I saw naturopathic, and so I focused on diet, we focused on herbs, and just like really cleaning up my health. So I cut out gluten, I cut out dairy, refined sugar, limited my alcohol, and really focused solely on what I was eating. During this time, one of the recommendations was to go off birth control from my doctor, just because it does have some effect with gut health, and we just wanted a clean slate that anything could be causing issues. And during this, I went off of it. I was about on the pill since 14, 15 years old, and I had lost my cycle. I went 6 months, I didn't have it, and then I got some tests done, maybe like for PCOS or just my hormone levels, and it came back that I just had very, very, very low progesterone, and so I wasn't ovulating. And the doctors, I remember the conversation, like the first thing they said was just, well, you were probably going to be at risk of infertility, and that might affect your effect of having kids later on. You could be at risk for diabetes, and we just recommend you go back on the pill, or you go back on this thing. And I asked, is that the only option? I really don't want to. And I just felt really scared in that moment, because at a 21, 22, having to think about things like children or, all these, I was like, I'm in college. Like,
That's I just want to live my life.
Exactly. And I just felt really scared for my health, and because I didn't know anything about my cycle or my body, how it worked. I just knew that, okay, like we bleed every month and that's it. So I started reading, I started talking to my doctors, just wanting to learn more. And I started sharing what I was learning on TikTok and my journey, just my personal journey, and talking to my friends. And, they were learning through me, because they didn't know either. And I was like, well, maybe I can make this a career. So I went back to school and I got my health coach certificate. And then I opened Black Orchid about a year ago and just did things through out the valley, and now we're here. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
you said it's been
congratulations
a year now.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. a lot of people don't truly know like what a health coach is. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit about like what exactly a health coach is? I guess maybe like what did you specialize in when you
Yeah.
went back to school
Yeah,
for
so
it?
a health coach, basically, I love thinking of like a health coach as someone that helps promote healthy lifestyle changes
Mm-hmm.
for like, so if you were like my client and you wanted to improve your eating habits or stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm your, I say I was like a friend that helps you along your path, that helps you come up with smart goals to help you
Mm-hmm.
achieve the health goals that you want, helps you be an advocate for yourself and health and wellness,
Mm-hmm.
giving tips and like providing things like that, like tips, maybe some like nutritious recipes or things to
Mm-hmm.
help you along your health path. So
Okay.
I focus health coaching for me. Why I wanted to do health coaching was it was a good start for me to get into the health and wellness world. And for me, changing like it's all about changing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Your health isn't just your eating, it's your sleeping, it's your stress, it's all of these
Mm-hmm.
things impact it. So I always say that like health coaching is helping people create a better, healthy life.
Yeah. It's a holistic approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little different than like, doctor or anything like that where I can't perfectly subscribe people, but I can help
Mm-hmm.
alongside with a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like with like say I have like a client that maybe does have PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like working along her and her doctor to help her change certain stuff for her life.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I noticed going on a health journey alone is it's very lonely.
Yes.
And, that causes a lot of stress. And I wish that I had someone to kind of like be my cheerleader and
Yeah.
help me like achieve all the health goals I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's the biggest things women are coming to you that they're like struggling with at the moment? What are you seeing? Is it PCOS? I know that's a huge
Yeah.
thing
It
I'm seeing all
is.
over socials, and people are really talking about that. Is it
Is it
infertility?
fibroids? That's
Yeah,
another one.
that's another one
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing a lot is busy women because, we are in a very amazing time where women can create their own career and do all these amazing things. And they want help back, like they want a healthy lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard because we're so busy women. Like I get a lot of them that are like, well, I don't have time to cook, like how can I
Yeah.
take care of my health? And because I know it's important, because I want to have a good cycle, I want to support my body with food and all these things, but I'm working 2 jobs, I'm starting another business, I have
Mm-hmm.
kids, or all the responsibilities that we have, that it's hard to balance all of that. So a lot of them come to me with wanting to make realistic
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle changes, like how to start cooking is one thing that I get a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, what to look for at the grocery stores, how to
Mm-hmm.
support my body, and how to like time management is another big one. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think as for like women's health wise, it's stress is obviously super huge.
Mm-hmm.
And just learning about the 4 phases. I think just wanting education on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say is like one misconception people have about wellness?
I think one misconception is that it's very cookie cutter and that everyone is the same. I think, it's like, for me, like, okay, avocados are a great food, right? For me, they're
Mm-hmm.
bloated. They make
Yeah.
me bloat. Like, it's
Yeah.
not
Mm-hmm.
like it's a great health food, but maybe not for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
think with wellness, it's like everyone posts like these are all these things you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's not the same for everyone. Health is so bio individual. And that's
Yes.
what I like to coach with in my coaching is like, okay, let's find a plan that works for you and
Mm-hmm.
your body.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's a lot of the thing that people get wrong is they just follow what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not one size
This
fits
fits all.
all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like social media has made wellness feel like super overwhelming because you see these
Mm-hmm.
insane routines in the
Yeah.
morning. All the things, all the drinks, even the nighttime mocktails, all the things.
Yes.
So as far as social media, do you think social media has distorted wellness to an extent based off of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. I think as someone like I said, I that's my first place I went when I was starting my health journey. I was like, okay, like I'm going to Google TikTok, like signs of the, like it's just the day and age we live in. Like that's our Google. And so I have an interesting like storyline where it's like, I was that person who was like looking up everything and following like what these gurus said. And I wasn't taking account of my body, my problems. And I felt overwhelmed because I'm like, yeah, okay, this person's saying to eat dairy, then this person's saying not to eat dairy, and always felt like I was doing the wrong thing. And I think with social media, there is so much noise, and also it creates like more expectation. Like if you aren't doing these things, that you're not healthy or you're not wellness. And I think when I was also just starting to find my rhythm, and started getting into then posting about, health and wellness. I, kind of followed the template that everyone else was doing. And then I was like, well, I don't really like this. Like, this doesn't feel authentic to me. And this doesn't feel like what I would want to say. And so that's what I try to do with like Black Orchid now is like, okay, stripping away from that perfect, because it's like a 5 a.m. morning do is so like not realistic.
Yeah.
Like it's not. And
It's
it
not.
goes against also, in my opinion, women's bodies of like, we're not the same every day. How do you expect to be waking up at 5 a.m. every single day of your cycle? And you're in your luteal, your menstrual, you need actually more sleep. Like you shouldn't be doing that. So it just creates like a lot of stress and expectations and puts more pressure on women when we already have so much pressure to be
agree.
perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think the point is just listening to you and your body.
I think so too. Yeah, I was going to actually ask, like, has the wellness culture become another form of perfectionism? I cannot say that way.
Okay.
Because I feel like it has, and I feel like the word wellness, everybody wants to attach themselves to it with all of the routines like we just spoke about. And it's like, are you actually doing it for your health, or are you doing it to be perfect? Are you doing it for the aesthetic, or are you truly, doing it for your health?
Yeah, I think there's so much perfection around. I mean, the wellness culture gave me like an eating disorder. Like it when I was going through it, because exactly it's like you need to eat all this, and I became so terrified to eat any kind of sugar, like fruit or any, because I'm seeing like the videos,
They're
like
saying
it's
that's
bad
sugar.
for
Yeah.
you, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't. I was in such a fragile state that I didn't want to go back to having all these gut issues, and I'm seeing these gurus that are telling me not to eat fruit.
Yeah.
So I just became so scared and developed an eating disorder from it. And I think it definitely 100% puts that perfection. I think wellness has always been around. My mom will joke with me. She's like, I remember when nobody would like talk about doing yoga or Pilates. She was like, that was weird. And now it's like a status thing, really.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
is.
It is.
It
And
is.
I think it just, it puts too much pressure on us, and to step away and to actually find what makes you feel good. It doesn't have to look like what the Instagram girlies are doing.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because there's so much out there. Kind of bouncing off of some of these things. What's your thoughts about peptides? There's so many different peptides out there that, obviously, for weight loss, for inflammation, there's so many things out there. Do you feel like that is a tangible step for women or even men to utilize? Do you suggest that in your practice, for women who are suffering with, PCOS or, weight loss?
Yeah. I will always be on the side of never tell a woman what to do with their body.
Yeah.
I've had that too. I've had women ask me, it's like, okay, well, you don't like birth control. Should I go on it? And I'm like, there are pros and cons to every beautiful, amazing thing that's been invented, like weight loss, for fertility. There's all these amazing things. And I think there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that you have to do your own research on. If it fits with your body and your health, I think that's what you should listen to, and you shouldn't be listening to, like, I always tell them, like, this is my advice, and I share health and wellness advice on shows, but I always say, it's like, take it with a grain of salt, because again, I'm speaking from my experience in my body, but if it's something that does work for you, then that's great. I know the problem with some of these medications is that our body will then rely on it. Like, I've heard that with GLP-1 ones, that after you stop it, you gain all the weight back. But I know they can be helpful for some people. So I feel like it's just up to the individuals.
Yeah, because I feel like there isn't any full, I mean, obviously GLP-1s and all those things, they help people, you know,
Yeah.
on their journeys, you know, whatever journey that may be. But also I think a lot of people use that as just almost like, I'm not going to say a Band-Aid, but they're just really solely relying on that, and they're not changing their habits. It should be, I believe, anything, whether that's GLP-1s or just other peptides, you know, even biohacking with cold plunge, cryotherapy, you know, sauna, like obviously these are tools in your toolbox, but if you're not exercising and eating healthy, no amount of fixes
They're
are going
the
to actually,
foundations.
exactly.
I will always say, like, and I looked at too, that's why I think health is a lifestyle choice. Like, I'll get people that, you know, are like, okay, I want to eat better. And I like to do like this, it's called like the circle of life. And we look at, I'm like, okay, well, like, how's your love life? And they're like, well, how does that have to do with like what I'm eating? And it's like, well, are you seeing anyone? Cause like, then are you eating what they're eating?
Right.
Are you, you know, are you going out all the time eating? Like, I feel like health and wellness is such like a lifestyle thing that you have to address the core root of it. And that's why I personally love naturopathic or Chinese medicine, because it really focuses on that root, because that's where the symptoms cause. If you're super stressed, of course you're going to have inflammation. Of course you're going to have problems with your weight. Of course you're going to have problems with your gut.
Yeah.
But if sleep, you know, skin, it all stems from one singular place.
I agree. Yeah, I've recently got into Chinese medicine. And I've seen a change just within myself with adapting some of those philosophies. But kind of going back to some of this, one thing that I've done this year, I made sure to make it a point. I don't know if you guys have heard of Tia, but I've been going to Tia, and they're really good. So I like had them like do a full panel on me just to make sure, you know, everything was good.
Yeah.
And they came back, gave me some recommendations on what I could do. They told me I was inflamed a little bit, and, you know, some things that I can eat. And so if someone is doing that, is that what they would take to you as a health coach? And then
like the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've had women that, I'm like, do you, their hormone result, you know, their
the
levels,
hormones,
or, you know, any of their, you know, do they have like diabetes or anything that I always ask, like, just share your history with me so we can devise a plan that's specifically for your body. So that's how like the working with other practitioners kind of works, where it's like you have exactly your main doctor that you go to for everything. But you're like, okay, like maybe your doctor told you to if you were trying to like lose weight or something, to go on this diet, but you're really struggling to like stick with it. That's where I would come in and help you like achieve those goals.
Okay.
Okay. Another question I have for you in terms of just like, you know, different fads as far as like, you know, the mocktail drinks and magnesium drinks and the collagen drinks. Do you have any recommendations for women that you feel like you're like, these are great if you're suffering with sleep or inflammation? Do you have recommendations for anyone who's maybe has some of those symptoms and they want to try those things out, given they have a little bit of a foundation? You know, I guess I can use myself, for example. I work out, you know, I've been trying to be better with my sleep and stress. Would there be recommendations for someone who is on a fitness journey and they're looking for, you know, little things to add into their wellness routine?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's like the best way to use supplements is actually there to supplement to help out you. So, I mean, the ones that come to my head, I think for that what helped me a lot with my fertility and everything was inositol powder. Like I still take it. I've been taking it for like the past years. And that really, it's very helpful for women with PCOS. But that was a great one for like stress and everything. That as someone who is chronically stressed still, I love ashwagandha is good. I also reishi mushroom is a really nice one for sleep. I feel like everyone should take magnesium. It's just an overall like a great supplement. So I love magnesium for sleep. Another one that I really like is we have a it's local to Phoenix, but you can buy it online, is Mount Sunny. They do Chinese like tinctures, Chinese herbal tinctures, and I use their sleep one, and I found it has to be very, very beneficial for me. So I highly recommend checking them out and trying that one.
Ooh, nice. I'm gonna have to jot that down. That sounds amazing.
Because I'm a tea girl. That's how I go to sleep.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take
really
like
nice.
a chamomile and lavender tea.
Lavender's really good for sleep. But those would be, I've kind of cut down my supplements, but I take my inositol powder, I take that, and I take ashwagandha and magnesium are kind of all that I'm taking right now.
Ooh, I love that. Those are such good picks.
Well, let's switch gears. I really want to get into cycle syncing because I think that that's so important. I think one thing that people are finally starting to understand is that women are not meant to function like machines every day, kind of like what we talked about. What's the difference between a man's 24-hour hormonal cycle and a woman's monthly cycle?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Like that, what you said is that unfortunately, we live in a society that favors the 24 hours. I mean, think about the 9 to 5 workday that was right around the men's cycle. And a lot of this is just because of how our society's built, and also women were included into a lot of medical testing for a very long time. I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but because our bodies were seen as too complex or too complicated. So we weren't really taught about our bodies and the different phases. And with men's cycles is that it's 24 hours. So they're the same, their hormone levels are the same every single day.
Must be nice.
Yeah,
I know.
Jeez.
Let me tell you. I'd be working like a machine.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
So
be.
they're exactly. So they're the same every single, nothing changes. For women, it's, they say the standard is 28 days, but again, very women to women, it can vary. But so that takes us a whole time to complete our cycle. So we have 4 different phases within the cycle, which is our menstrual phase, follicular, ovulation, and then luteal. And during each of these phases, our hormones are at different levels. So that causes mood changes, that causes, anything from your digestion, where there's a reason we want more food in our luteal phase, or because our body needs more calories. So it affects our sleep, our mood, our everything, how we think, our creativity levels, everything is affected, and it changes between like the week to week basis within that month. So for women,
so we're not crazy.
No, you're not. And that's what exactly when I learned all this, I was like, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not like, there's a reason why I feel bloated this time. There's a reason like that my mood is off. Like it like clicked in my head because I thought we were the same every day. Like,
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. Clearly not.
No, we're not. And it just, So cycle syncing is basically when women live in accordance to their cycle. So they change their eating to every different phase, and that is just making sure. So like if you are, I would just love to use the luteal phase, because that's where a lot of women struggle with like PCMS and, all of that. If you're in your luteal phase, it's helpful to eat more complex carbs or more calories, because that's keeps you fuller longer. So it'll help those dips in your energy, and it'll help those dips in your mood. Also, then if you're in, your follicular ovulation, it's more light foods. If you don't win with those nutrients, also changing your workouts to fit to your cycle, because during that time, again, it says our hormones change. Our bodies are more sensitive to stress during certain times. So we shouldn't be like doing crazy cardio workouts every single day, because when we won't have the energy to any kind of like, our body thinks anything is stress, so that can cause more inflammation when you're in your period or your luteal phase.
Okay.
And also it's just changing.
I have something. So when I tell my boyfriend on my menstrual cycle, I can't work out. There's a reason.
There's a reason.
I was down and out last week. I swear, I was like barely getting to Pilates.
It's hard, and
it is hard.
It is hard, and the problem is
they don't understand.
They're like, oh, you can stop. No, I can't.
Yeah.
No, it's
my
hard.
trainer is like, get on it. Like, you just don't understand.
Not this week.
Not that week. Yeah. So cycle syncing, all is exactly. It's about living in accordance with your cycle, like eating for your cycle, working out, and just changing the little things that you can to fit your cycle and help have an easier period, help have an easier just time throughout the whole thing.
I love that. Can you just explain it like just a little bit more, like in terms of the window? So if someone wanted to follow the cycle,
yes, of course,
like the breakdown of it.
Yeah. So it starts. You can, if you're wanting to learn, basically I always recommend is tracking your cycle. So day 1 of your cycle is the menstrual phase. So it starts the menstrual phase first. So your first favorite bees is day 1. And during your menstrual phase, this is when your hormones are at your lowest. So that's when we're very tired. So you need more rest. The first day, I love treating the first day of my period as like a rest day. Now, I'm not doing anything. No one's telling me. No one's like, your body needs rest because our hormones are at their lowest. Eating things like high iron, high magnesium for cramps. So that's where chocolate comes in. Chocolate and kale are really good. Those things will help. Iron will help your energy levels. Complex carbs, again, for your happy hormones. And then after that, we hit the follicular phase. So now your energy's starting to rise. Okay, so we're back to it, you know. I also like thinking of these as like seasons. So your menstrual's winter, follicular spring. So your energy's starting to rise up. So everything's feeling a little lighter. So estrogen is starting to rise. To help with having excess estrogen, it's a good thing to, you know, kind of like balance that out. So a lot of fiber is really good during this time. Raw carrots, raw vegetables are really yummy. It's one thing I do. So when you can start doing your more crazy hit workouts, you're more resilient to stress at this time. So you can have longer nights out. You can, you know, do more things. You're more resilient at this time. So for like my girls that are working girls, I love doing this time as like planning session. Like I'm doing the buttload of my work in my follicular phase. So when I get to that menstrual, I don't have to really stress about having so much work. So this is time you're feeling more creative. You have more energy. So I love doing a buttload of my work during this phase. Light foods, good. You can go on your crazy workouts. Ovulation is, they call it a phase, but it's really only one day of our cycle. But because of, you know, you might be feeling the effects before, still like after you ovulate. That is when we are just feeling our best, you know, where that's our summertime. That's when we're the most fertile. So we're feeling like really hot and sexy. We're feeling great. So I love, like, during this time, it's the same thing where you just want to eat nice light foods. Helping with stress levels can be really high during this time. So that's anything you can do to help the stress calm down is something that can happen with ovulation. Omega-3, like fish, any kind of oils are really good for the time thing. Beauty is one thing that I like to think about that. And same thing, same hit workout kind of vibes. After that is we're gonna switch, is because we're gonna crash. Unfortunately, we only the good only lasts one day.
that is just
it's horrible.
Crazy.
It's literally like the worst thing ever. But yes. So then we're gonna crash, and our progesterone is going to start rising, but estrogen, testosterone, those are all going to plummet. So when your progesterone's, that's your calm hormone. So during this phase, it is very prominent for women to experience mood swings, tired, all of those things. And what we want to do is we don't want to stress the body out anymore because our body becomes really sensitive to stress. Yeah. So that's what I like to do is like eat a lot of complex carbs are my like go-to during this phase because complex carbs, keep you fuller longer during your luteal phase. Please make sure that you are eating like you need calories during this time. And high protein, high complex carbs. For workouts, you want to do things that are not as intense. So if you're like weightlifting, you can do weights, but I would maybe go a little bit easier, just take it a little bit easy because your body's starting to get tired during this phase. And then we would go back to the menstrual. So that's kind of a little, there's so much you can get into it, but like those are the briefs.
So I know when we both attended your event a while back, you mentioned that you used like an Oura ring to kind of track a little bit, like body temperature. Do you recommend any other wearables, or do you kind of like swear by Oura ring for like, kind of keeping track of like where you're kind of at in your cycle?
Yeah, Oura ring is really great because so for if you are trying to track like your ovulation, what happens is your basal body temperature will rise. So that's like one of the signs. So that's what the Oura ring, that's how it's tracking that. There's other good gadgets out there. Like there's a thermometer if you can do that one. Or there is, I think it's called, I'm really not sure, but it's a wearable band that you can wear at night. So there's many different things. Those are like the 3 things that I think are on the market right now. I like the Orchid because it tracks your sleep as well. Yeah. So I like to see how my sleep's doing and why I personally used the Oura ring. But those are the other options out there.
I love that.
Yeah. I use a period tracker.
Okay.
That's how, I pretty much track my cycle. Do you have any that you recommend or any apps?
With apps, it's kind of hard. I don't always recommend them just because a lot of them are designed by men.
Yeah.
So it's
you need to create your own, girl.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I think that'd be so good for you.
Maybe. Who knows? That would be fun. But
like if anyone's listening.
Yeah. If there wasn't any like app developers, like I would love to be able to. That's the thing. And they're, so they're designed with that every woman ovulates on the day 14, 28-day cycle, which again is not the case. So they're not always accurate on tracking. So I always recommend women to track it on their own time, like pen and paper, getting used to it, or with just watching exactly like the basal body temperature going up and down. And with the other signs of like ovulation, like your discharge and, mood and all these other things is how I would track it. There's one that seems pretty good I've tried. It's called Eureka. It's female founded. So I like that one. It's really nice, but I always try to just track it. Pen and paper is the way to go.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah.
So I also think people underestimate how connected gut health and emotional health actually is. How does stress impact gut health and hormones?
Yeah, well, I mean, the majority of our serotonin is correlated in the gut. Like gut, everyone said like the brain and gut connection, gut feeling, like that. There's all a reason we have those. And when you're stressed, that can cause inflammation in the body and bloating and just puffiness. And with the gut, if you have any sort of imbalance, like how I was having of bacteria, that can affect your mood levels, your stress levels. So really taking care of your gut health is so important. And it should be a foundation of exactly taking care of your stress. A lot of people like to do all these things for stress, but then they're not eating healthy for their gut. And there's that like technically it's like the parasite ones, like the candy, that one. It's like, that's true. Like our gut, like if we have bad bacteria in our gut, it's gonna want sugars and unhealthy things. And so we need to kind of like cleanse that all out.
Detoxing.
Yeah.
And then how can poor gut health impact mood, anxiety, and energy? Like what are kind of the signs and just, how can people, solve that problem?
I feel like, I mean, definitely with gut health, things like if you're looking for poor gut health,
Yeah.
your obviously like bowel movements are like a number one way of like determining your gut, like if you're really constipated or if like like these are little things that you can like spot that maybe something is slowing down or not working properly. With like your mood and stuff, I've noticed a lot of people that have like a lot of depression have like really bad gut issues as well. So kind of like do you want to know, like, to reframe like your question, are you asking like for things to do for it?
Yeah, a little bit of things to do or, I guess signs that are related
Okay.
to poor gut health.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
sorry. I was like,
Yeah,
trying to
no
remember.
worries,
I was like,
sorry.
wait, I'm going off on something that I don't know if this is for. Yeah, signs of like poor gut health. I'd say, your bowel movements, poor gut health. Also, if you are like bloated after everything you eat, or bloating is like always feeling bloated is, kind of a sign that can be something is off. Things like stress eating, another one, or always craving like sweets is a really big if you're always like you're always craving it. that could be a sign that something's off. But also, just high stress. That was for me. I always say that like my stress caused bad gut issues because it might not necessarily like you think it's one thing or the other, but it could really you could have high stress and that causes bad gut issues. Because again, our body's in a fight or flight demands. It doesn't know when we are stressed about something at work or if we're in a stressful situation. So it kind of like causes our body to not function properly, or put some things on hold. So I always try to say like, do whatever you can to help your stress and also help feed your gut like good bacterias or good like
probiotics.
Yeah, probiotics, prebiotics, both of those like nice and fiber I think are really good. Making sure that you're drinking water, making sure that you're staying away from as much as you can from processed foods, I think are just little things that people can do to help their gut health and which eventually will help their mood.
Yeah,
I love
I've recently got into like more probiotics, prebiotics, kimchi,
Yes.
sauerkraut.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always
I love yogurt.
Yeah, I always say like before supplements, always like whole foods, and also it's like way cheaper. But yeah, for like probiotics, like anything that's fermented is really really good for you.
So good.
Why are so many women exhausted all the time?
I think honestly, it just comes down to like the society that we live in. And again, talking about like the male cycle of 24 hour, again, that's kind of been the foundation for the, just it's the foundation that women have been put in this box to like fulfill that. And we put the pressure on ourselves to be like the man. And if we're not hustling 24/7, like we don't see ourselves as worthy. And I know I fell into that as well. And also was seeing like things like on social media of women doing all these things or, having perfect routines that causes the pressure of us because we want so desperately to feel taken seriously, by maybe ourselves, by maybe our parents, by maybe like our job. And I think that's why. I think it's really that just because the society that was not founded on women's bodies and we were not seen as like important, that it creates all this pressure to try to be like the men. And we have to stop trying to be like a man and try to be like a woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're very different.
Yeah.
Bodies, different
And it's
cycles.
a good thing.
And yeah,
It's a
is.
really good thing.
Yeah.
And I think we hold a lot of like power in our own body and how it works. And I think when you stop trying to work like a man, eat like a man, like stop trying to live like one, you'll be more your power.
I agree. And that's something that I'm working on
Yeah.
right now.
Embracing our womanhood.
Yeah.
Femininity.
Yeah. I feel like
Yes.
we've kind of strayed a little bit away from that over the last, probably decade or so. But,
Yeah.
I think, to your point, we are very different, and that's a good thing.
It is.
We need to embrace that and, take our power back with our own femininity. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because we have our own strengths, our own power. There's
Yeah.
things that we're great at, that
Yeah.
we should be focusing on and
Yeah,
not focusing on masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think it just kind of stems from oppression and society and all of that. But now we're in a time that women are embracing it. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that your brand talks about realistic wellness instead of perfection. As far as, the next question, what does realistic wellness actually look like? Is there something tangible our audience can take away? Because I know it's a lot of information, especially with cycle syncing. I know for myself, I'm like, okay, I want to do it, but it's a lot. It can be overwhelming to track and write it down.
Yeah.
Is there anything that they can take away to get themselves started on their wellness journey?
Yeah, I think it definitely, again, from being as someone that was in that position of okay, it's like when I first started cycling, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the store and buy this, I'm going to do this, and I'm doing, and it's it's crazy. But I think it comes down to just baby steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
You with anything really, if you have a health goal in your mind that exactly say you're a woman that wants to start cycle singing, maybe just start with figuring out your cycle. How long is it? And don't change anything, but maybe start there. And then maybe adding one thing at a time, or any health goal that you have, breaking it down to baby steps will really just help you get there easily and feel less stressful. Also, realistic things that you could do that are really beneficial and not a lot is I don't really have a morning or night routine, but I always make sure I get sunlight first thing in the morning, at least 5 minutes. If I that's the first thing I do. So getting sunlight, eating whole foods, making sure you're getting sleep is another one. I just think those basics are the easiest place to start. But yeah, just break it down. Really, just take baby steps.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I agree.
Okay, so we're going to do a rapid fire before we
Okay.
close out. We have to talk about all the wellness hacks online right now. So this is in and out. Okay, so vibration plates.
Out. You don't need it.
Really? I'm so sold on the vibration plate.
I just see it all on TikTok shop on the
Yeah, I am a consumer. At heart, I am a consumer. But just dance in your room. Just do tapping, just jump up and down.
probably same result, right?
It's literally the same thing. It's just you do not need it. Just
Okay. Noted.
yeah,
Okay.
just jump up. It'll save you a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Just jump up and down. You'll be good.
Red light therapy masks.
I love those. As I get closer to my 30s, I really am trying to take better care of my skin. So I love it. It has a lot of benefits.
Oil pulling.
Yes. Yes.
Can you kind of quickly touch on a one benefit of oil pulling for people who don't know?
Well, so anything, when you sleep, all the bacteria and stuff from your gut can come into your mouth. And so if you just brushing your teeth gets rid of some of it, but then you have think about it, then you're just putting it back in your gut. It's a constant routine. So oil pulling really helps to remove that excess bacteria, a clean mouth. And so I like it. I'm not really good at doing it all the time, but maybe once a month I'll do it. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I live by it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
it really does help.
Yeah.
Tongue scraping.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
Absolutely.
that was
I tongue
Yeah.
scraped this morning.
Yeah.
You should be doing that for the rest of your life.
It's good for, you see that was something that when I was struggling with candida, they told me to do, because it all the candida on your tongue and everything, the yeast, if you get it
You
all
have to
out.
get that out.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. Cold plunges.
I don't like cold plunges
Because it can be kind of a shock to the body
yeah,
and the nervous
for
system.
when I don't again, if you are going to do it as a woman, do it in your follicular phase. Definitely not in your luteal. Definitely not in your menstrual. It's just, it shocks your body and it can cause inflammation and actually have the opposite effect. So as a woman, I don't do it and I don't recommend it.
Oh, interesting. Cortisol mocktails.
I mean, they're fun. I think they're fun. I love any kind of fun mocktail with adaptogens that can help. I had this one that had kava in it the next day, and I felt the benefits of it, and I loved it. So I'll give that one, yes.
I love that. I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, but 5 a.m. morning routines.
No.
6 a.m.
If you can do a 5 a.m. morning routine, props to you.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah,
And it's not realistic. So
Not every day. No.
do what works for you. Just get some sunlight in the morning. That's all you need.
Easy. Walking pads.
I like them. I work from home, so I love, physical activity. Any way that you can get it, I approve.
Yeah, I love mine too.
Yeah, I have one too. I need to use it more, but it's there.
It's there.
It's there. Matcha over coffee.
Yes.
That's a good
I love matcha. I prefer matcha over coffee because it has L-theanine in it. So again, that cortisol spike is not as harsh as just drinking coffee. I will say if you are drinking coffee or matcha or anything in the morning, make sure to have a little breakfast before. So it can also help lower that blood sugar spike, that cortisol spike first thing in the morning.
I need to be better with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It'll be way just you won't have the 3 p.m. crashes.
And then last rapid fire supplements or supplement recommendations.
I love supplements. I think, first of all, if you're shopping for supplements, always look to see, because they're not regulated by the FDA.
Yeah.
So always do your research on the company that you're buying it from.
Yes.
But I love supplements. I think they're fun.
Yeah, love that.
Awesome. So we are going to wrap it up. What's next for you and your business?
Yeah. Well, what's next for us is that we are continuing to just help educate women throughout the Valley in Phoenix. So the best way to find out about like more events that we're doing, we do dinners, we do little like talks, I do little women's circles that are coming back. So they're monthly meetups that happen around the Valley, and we just get to like talk about anything about womanhood, about supplements, little things that like any woman have questions on. We get together and we talk. So those happen throughout the Valley. So anything events or anything Black Orchid to see what's coming new, just go to blackorchidwellness.com.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll be adding, I just finished my yoga teacher training. So we'll be adding some
yay.
yoga events in there too. But yeah, those are the new.
And then you have your newsletter too.
Yes,
so I know I'm on
yes,
that.
that's a newsletter. So I always like say, if you want to be in the loop, if you're not ready, like you don't want to do health coach or anything yet, I always just say like sign up for the newsletter because it's free and you're gonna get health tips and also just the best way to see when we're having our next event.
I love
Okay,
that.
Awesome.
And then what are your socials for people to follow you?
Everything is just Black Orchid Wellness. So we are on Instagram and on TikTok.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to close this out. What is one thing you want women to take away from this conversation today?
I would love for women to just, which I need to be better at, is stop trying to be, like we said, like the man or the hustle. Give yourself peace, give yourself rest, and be nice to yourself, I think is that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do everything every day and just be kind to yourself.
I love that.
I love that too. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, really, just take care of yourself. Just be kind to yourself. I know it's hard. Again, I'm not perfect, and any means by it, but it's something I try to remind myself.
Okay, guys, if this episode resonated with you, share it with a woman in your life who's been feeling burnt out or overwhelmed. And make sure to follow Monet and Black Orchid Wellness. And yeah, and obviously.
Always. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. We're being silly right now.
Yeah.
And as always,
you can like, share, follow us on social media and all platforms. As always, keep thriving
loudly.
Bye.
Bye, guys.